All right, and we are live, and that's the episode that will be focused on the price action of post yesterday's post CPI report. So we are at very important spot in terms of many markets. You may claim that it's only up from here, but the background is much more complicated. That's why I'm very glad, sorry, for hosting you today. And as always, we'll go through the most important elements of where we are right now and what may come afterwards. So, without any further ado, let's kick in. All right, and we are heading into economy view. What we have at first. So at first, let's talk about a bit of sentiment. So sentiment on the market has been spoke by yesterday's data. So it means CPI is falling, but the pace of it is bringing some concerns. I thought that this element that this is falling would be took for granted by the markets, but it not like this. This gauge has surprised to the downside as the forecast was at the lower notch. But right now we are struggling with very important levels on the markets. So let's find out in a second. But at first, let's head on to at first some important charts. Right now you can find expectations for income growth falter, and that's the falter that has the biggest since I don't know, out of scale literally. So we can find that the outlook for the future of US consumers is falling. So this income growth has been cooled to 3.3%, down from 4.6, and right now it nowhere close from a stoppage. Also, another thing that stands in a juxtaposition to this is that of today's data of retail sales of US are getting, look at how strong, 3% instead of forecast 1.2%, and that spooks that outcome that it may the CPI may only go down from here. So taking this and that, we can find that it may fuel Fed's decisions on hiking interest rate further. But right now, if we just head on to Fed probability rate and Fed probability rate and countdown, it's 35 days till next ratio being published, but 0.25 is the basis scenario, whereas market starting a bit moving towards the possible postpone of interest rate cuts this year for another. That's why the market has reacted that fiercely recently. So that was about it. Right now, let's head on to what's going on with the markets, and market outlook is the great section to discover this. So we are heading to our beautiful trading view. What we got next is Euro USD is falling, so it's falling, and it doesn't show any type of reversal yet. So we have just rebounded out of the recent resistance, and right now heading relentlessly to 1.05. So it's much more like a difficult time for USD. In terms of maybe right now head on to SPX. So we are consolidating within this area, but after breaking out of this inverted head and shoulders, oh my gosh, it looks like we are finding out we are lingering here for too long in order to acknowledge it as the right formation that may get us to a new at least local highs of around 45,000 as it's the objective of this formation, even higher if you ask market technicians, or we may even point it out, why not? 47.4. So right now there is a question of to be or not to be, but with such a long and persisting market indecision, I would rather bet for SPX to drop from here. So the outlook has changed, and I was more bullish than I am right now. Dow Jones also looks like be right heading to lower boundary of this triangle, bullish triangle, as US 100 as well has a difficulties of getting through this trend line. D40 is also forming kind of a head and shoulders pattern. If the right shoulders will accomplish, it may get to at least low 15,000. What about next? Gold. Oh, that trend is developing very quickly. And also about silver, we can say as well that it's accelerating. Maybe it may find any type of some type of rebound here as we are entering a demand zone, but it may still take time as we haven't formed any type of a reversal, and also RSI looks pesky. So that's the one thing that also doesn't encourage me to buy any of this. Copper right now is rebounding out of this boundary, and it may head us back to 3.85, 3.90s. WTI as well doesn't show strength. We are trying to recover, but for this one to happen, we need to get across 79. Otherwise, we may head to lower levels of 76, and right after 72.5 will be found. And natural gas as well is developing a downward momentum, and we can find it that pattern of a wedge being formed right here is negated by this price movement. Doesn't mean we will break through this floor. It's too early to say that. In terms of BTC USDT, we are also testing previous resistance, but from the downside. So it means another slight downward should be expected to at least 20,000 if you ask me. Ethereum, same story. All right, so for now, if you are permabull, you need to just wait. That's the most reasonable thing I would make. So in terms of crypto outlook, let's find out. Yes, Bitcoin fallen, regulatory fears remain in focus. I would say don't worry in a long term, but in a short, medium term, it's an issue that spooks many bulls. At stake is not all decentralized infrastructures, as blockchains are typically secured by validators from around the world. So they will continue to function, assuming overseas regulators take a more lenient view of their services. It's right now considered it's almost impossible to crack down all of the sector, as everyone likes to take everyone would like to take a chunk of this crypto pie, as it's a kind of a golden goose. So last year's, for instance, Binance turnover at the largest crypto exchange astounded us with higher figure than many of regulated exchanges. So that's the thing that also stands for this more lenient regulations, but many of these decentralized finance services are actually run by a core group of people whom regulators could potentially still hold responsible for non-compliance. So that's the thing to watch. What about the market movers? So we are heading to earnings calendar. I've already rolled over. So it was retail sales that has surprised to the upside. What about earnings calendar? Let's talk about a bit about this. Coca-Cola yesterday hasn't surprised. It's still in a solid place, and EPS get us at 0.45. Sorry, I haven't switched windows, but there you go. So it was Coca-Cola right here, as you can find. I will let's get it up. Airbnb earnings per share 0.48, so it's better than the forecast. So that's why the most of investors should ramp up. Marriott International also was better after this COVID rebound. Cisco today has shown. Yes, we haven't seen Cisco yet publishing, as it will be right after a market session. We are also awaiting Shopify and Synopsys from and the Kraft Heinz company from the most interesting names. So that's it in terms of last but not least element. That's a trade idea. Trade idea kicks in, and something I do have for you is, let me find out. Not Ethereum, but WTI. Yes, there you go. So right now, I was more bullish than I'm right now. I would say that with recent price action, WTI will be much more likely to move to the levels of 76 and even lower to 72.5 if we won't manage to get through this recent build up floor at 78. So this price action is really gloomy. We are trying to rebound with forming this RSI repolarization after getting below 30 points on hourly chart, but it might not be satisfactory to hold on above 78. This also on a 4-hour chart doesn't seem like it would manage to get above, and I would say that after what I'm seeing, I don't find WTI to get to 82.4 at least within this or next week, I say, unless some of the decent price action will turn up. So what about being specific on that trade? So on WTI, I do expect that right when getting to this level, that's a very good chance to take a short position from here. So in terms of particular trade, short position will be looking like this. So we can find a with risk reward ratio at 11.7, but you may need to hold on to position for longer. But I do expect that WTI will drop to at least 75 in a quick manner, and right after possibly move lower to levels of 72.6. So there you go. On hourly candle, there's no chance we'll get through this overhead supply. So that's my view. Always assess your risk and manage your possible profitability as by appointing the right objectives, and that's it from today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and see you tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. East time.